What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. We are just under 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, which is so crazy. I can't believe how fast this year has gone and how fast this month is going. But I thought it'd be fun to round up some sweet Laurel desserts for you that you could use on Thanksgiving. If you don't know what you're gonna make yet, or you just wanna try something new, I got you. 3 of these recipes are actually available on the Sweet Laurel blog, so you don't have to pay anything to access them. I will leave links for all the recipes down in the description box below. There is one recipe that is in the Sweet Laurel cookbook. I think it's so worth it to pick up that cookbook. It's not super expensive. You can get it on Amazon. It'll be at your door in a day or two. So I will also leave a link in the description for that down below. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and it does also help out my channel, so you can do that down below as well. First recipe is the Sweet Laurel pumpkin bread. This one is on the blog, so you can access it in the description down below. This pumpkin bread is so good. I have to make this pumpkin bread at least once every fall because it just makes me think fall. It is a perfect blend of those like fall spices with the pumpkin and a little hint of sweetness. I feel like this recipe is super versatile. You can either have it with your like nice little Thanksgiving breakfast, or you can bring it to a gathering and it can be put out with appetizers that just kind of sit out to snack on while everybody is waiting for the main meal, or it can go out with the desserts and it has that like warm, sweet fall Thanksgiving feeling that everybody loves. So 100% a classic. You will not be disappointed if you make this recipe. And maybe you don't even make it for Thanksgiving. Maybe you just want to have some good pumpkin bread for fall vibes. Next up is another classic. I feel like I so much didn't grow up eating this for Thanksgiving or in the fall time, but it definitely is another one that makes me think fall, and that is the Sweet Laurel apple crumb pie. I personally had not made this one until this video, but I felt like it was a really true classic Thanksgiving staple that so many people had in their homes growing up, and honestly it did not disappoint. The flavor of the cinnamon and that Granny Smith apple coming together with the crust, oh my gosh, so good. And honestly a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I personally don't have an apple peeler core slicer, so I did all of the apple peeling and coring and slicing myself. And that wasn't bad, and also the stovetop portion was fairly easy. Just put all the ingredients in, let it heat up, soften those apples, and then the crust was super easy as well. Something that I wish we had had alongside this though was a little scoop of vanilla ice cream. Warm apple pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream is so good. So I would recommend, if you're going to bring this to your gathering, be sure to heat up the pie a little bit in the oven just so it's warm. It doesn't need to be hot again. And then having some sort of vanilla ice cream, whether it's dairy-free or not, serving it in a bowl with your slice and your scoop of ice cream. So if you're looking for a nice, easy, classic pie to bring to your Thanksgiving gathering, this is it. So we're gonna move on from our classic, traditional fall recipes and move over into our more like fall flavored recipes, but a little more, we're taking it up a notch. That's what we're doing. I don't know what the word is for it. These are both recipes that have that wonderful fall Thanksgiving feel with a little bit of spice. So next up is the Sweet Laurel pumpkin cookie with a cream cheese frosting. I chose this recipe to add into the mix because I feel like a cookie is such a great option if you have a big gathering or you have a gathering with a lot of kids. It's gonna give you that sweet Thanksgiving homey feel without having to dish up a pie or cut bread or whatever your desserts may be. You put it out on a plate and people can grab them as they want them. You don't need a fork and knife. You don't need a ton of stuff. It's just easy to grab, easy to eat. Now for the video, I did not make the cream cheese frosting. I just didn't have time. I actually just took the Simple Mills vanilla frosting and used that instead. It is gonna be a little bit sweeter than what the cream cheese frosting is gonna give you. The cream cheese frosting is gonna be, you know, that like bite and like, I don't wanna say sourness, but if you've had cream cheese frosting before, it's not super sweet compared to other frostings. So I feel like it does pair really well. It's supposed to kind of be like a pumpkin cheesecake cookie. You kind of lose that element to it if you just buy the frosting, but if you are in a pinch and you don't have the time to make it, I feel like that's a really good alternative. You could also like dust a little cinnamon on the top to make it look and feel a little more festive. But regardless of what you do with the frosting, I feel like this truly will be a great addition to the dessert table at your gathering. Last but certainly not least, this is the recipe that Kiffer and I have made for Thanksgiving for probably the past 3 or 4 years. I think we also made it on Christmas last year with my in-laws, and it is so good. It is so good. I need to pause and rewind for a second. I don't think I mentioned this, but the last 2 recipes were on the blog, so they'll be down in the description below. This recipe is the only recipe in this video that will be in the Sweet Laurel cookbook. Like I said, it's such a good book. If you love to bake and you either want to get into like alternative baking, or you are already into alternative baking and you just can't find the recipes that you love, this cookbook will give you what you love. It is so worth it, I promise you. There is a link down below if you want it. This wonderful recipe is the Sweet Laurel pumpkin spice latte cake. I honestly don't even really know how to describe it to you. Like, I feel like it's one of those things that you just need to experience for yourself. If you are someone who loves that like really traditional pumpkin spice flavor, but you also love coffee in your dessert, I can almost guarantee you that if you bring this recipe to your gatherings, everybody will talk about it. You will be asked to bring it for years and years to come. The cake itself is so flavorful and is so moist and so rich. It really is a rich dessert. Another run-in with the frosting. Every time I've tried to make the actual frosting from the cookbook, I fail miserably, so I've stopped that. And my alternative to that is the Simple Mills vanilla frosting with the measurements that the recipe gives for like the instant coffee, which I think is like 2 teaspoons of instant coffee, 2 tablespoons of warm water, and like 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You mix that up, let it cool, and then you mix it in with the Simple Mills vanilla frosting. Like I said, I truly feel like I cannot explain to you the deliciousness of this cake. But I will say that anytime that we have brought this cake to any kind of gathering, everyone has absolutely loved it. Can't stop talking about it, wanting more of it. So if you want to bring the show-stopping dessert to your Thanksgiving gathering, this one's gonna be it. And to be completely honest, I feel like it's one of the most simple recipes out of all of them. So kind of a no-brainer. But the other recipes are all very good. That's why I included them in this video. So you guys, this wraps up my Thanksgiving dessert roundup. If you decide to make any of these recipes, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you have any questions about any of the recipes, I'd love to try and assist you and answer that in the comments below as well. Also, if you make any of the recipes and you have me on Instagram, feel free to take a photo and either send it to me or post it and tag me. I would love to see what Sweet Laurel treats you are making for Thanksgiving this year. Just as a reminder, all the recipes are down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!